So you are now 2 days away from the start of the second test match between India and South Africa. Obviously, there's anticipation. Both teams have landed at Guwahati. And now we finally heard from the Indian camp as well ahead of what proves to be or will prove to be a very defining test match, because again, even if you win, you're still drawing the series. A loss or a draw in the test match, however, and you're out, and there will be question marks over the tenure of head coach Gautam Gambhir. Truth be told, a lot of those question marks have already begun, and it was again the backdrop of some of those questions that India's batting coach Sitanshu Kotak cut a very defined figure in front of the media that was present at Guwahati. Here's a look at what he had to say when he was asked about certain things about the team management and Gambhir's tactics. This is what he had to say. He said that, why are people always targeting Gambhir? No one said anything when we were winning. Maybe some people have agendas. Good luck to them. I'm not sure what agenda it is he's talking about, because even when you're winning, people will have criticisms, and truth be told, the criticisms will always be more when you're losing. That is pretty much the nature of the beast. It's not going to be a case of people are going to be critical when you're winning, but if you're losing so consistently and falling for exactly the same traps, then people have every right to ask questions. The spinning tracks have been an Achilles heel for India, and you're not actually looking to correct that in any way, shape or form. We'll get back to the spinning tracks in just a bit, but there was one other important question that was posed to him, that surrounding the fitness update potentially on Indian skipper Shubman Gill, and this is what Kotak had to say. He said that Gill is recovering really well. A call will be taken on his participation tomorrow, because physios and doctors will check on him first and then we'll take a call, which I think is extremely fair. Now, obviously, we've been hearing some very contrasting things about Gill, and I think this is probably one of the more concrete updates you've gotten from a member of the existing staff. He said that, no, he's recovering very well. I even went and met him, spoke to him. He's doing good, but a call will be taken only tomorrow on whether or not he participates. And the reason he said was actually pretty solid. He said that, look, it isn't just about whether or not he's recovered fully. Even if he's fully recovered, we don't want a situation whereby he ends up having a recurrence of that. So if there's any fear of that happening, you could very well see him sit out. So as of now, Gill's participation is still a 50-50 at best. But remember what I said about the spinning pitches and the pitch being in focus? Well, there were a lot of questions on it, and one of them came about when he was quizzed about why it is that India loves or tries so hard to only play on spinning pitches, and this was his answer. Spin is definitely our strength, but we can't leave too much grass either in Indian wickets, because it might lead to more draws. Now, on a surface level, his comments are perfectly accurate. Yes, spin has been India's strength, and you can't leave too much grass, you can't harden pitches too much, because you might end up getting drawn test matches. He's right about that. But here it really is where there are so many question marks that I have. Is spin the strength of the current Indian team? I don't think so, and this is where I disagree with Sitanshu Kotak's, let's say, the statement that he made in the press conference leading up to the second test, where he said that, no, I think this is definitely spin is our strength. I don't think it's the strength of the current Indian team at all. It doesn't matter if it's a rank turner, doesn't matter if it's a square turner, doesn't matter if it's a slow turner. I don't think this generation of batters is equipped to be playing spin. They are better at playing pace bowling, and there's nothing wrong with that. The point is, why is it that you are not playing to that strength? In what delusion are you living in that spin is your strength? You've lost so many test matches in spinning tracks recently. There have been warning signs going back as far as your test dominance in 2021. Why is it that there is no acknowledgement of learning from that? When are you going to wake up? But that aside, I mean, we're at least expecting better conditions in this test match, right? You remember a couple of days back, I did a pitch report basis what we're hearing from multiple reports, and Kotak has pretty much confirmed those reports in some ways. He said that, look, a red soil wicket will generally have more bounce, but it depends on the moisture. This wicket will probably play better, but it depends on many factors. And the other factors which he mentioned also were weather, how cool or hot it is, how much sunlight there is. So he said there's a lot of factors. Pitch making and how a pitch deteriorates is not an exact science. This is something that not only the team management, but a lot of other people are picking up the hard way, that you might want to prepare a pitch that deteriorates consistently. That may or may not happen, and there may be a number of factors that come about due to it. So the hope is that this particular test match, you will see a better test wicket, and that's what Kotak is expecting as well from the Guwahati track. All he's saying is, listen, don't count on it entirely being that way. There are other factors in play as well. So it is a case of yes, but. And lastly, one more thing which again has been the focus on a lot of people. What about India's batting combinations? You've seen so many number threes tried. You saw Washington Sundar being tried at number 3 recently because reasons, I guess. Well, Kotak has obviously defended that too, and this is what he had to say. He said that Washington got a lot of runs in England and he is good as a pure batter too. Him being promoted to number 3 isn't a big issue. We didn't play good cricket and that's why we lost. Now, I do agree with that last part. India definitely didn't play good cricket, and that is the sole reason I am going to blame for them not being able to chase down 124 in home conditions. That should have been chased down. There was enough batting, there were enough, let's say, runs there, or there was enough time, more importantly, to also be able to chase it down. But again, I don't agree with the second part. Washington got runs in England, so we're going to try him at number 3. I mean, Ravindra Jadeja has gotten lots of runs throughout his career. Do you want to try him as an opening bat too? Where is the logic? If someone has to bat at the top order, the top 3 spots, the top 4 spots, there needs to be some more reasons other than he got runs in England. Getting runs in England in 2025 is not the same as getting runs in England in 2005. Baseball era pitches are much flatter. 2005, you would have to contend with swinging conditions, lateral sideways movement with the new Duke's ball. You don't have to deal with that much anymore. It is much easier scoring runs now in England than it was 20, 30 years back. So let's not use, Washington got runs in England as an excuse for what is clearly poor team management. You took an all-rounder, treated him as a pure batter, bowled him in 1 over throughout the innings or throughout the match really. That's just foolhardy. Let's not talk about we didn't play good cricket, because you're right. You didn't play good cricket, but you're also not helping yourself. And really, this seems to be the major problem which I'm sensing, is that there's a lot of defensiveness coming through from the Indian cricket team, which I understand to an extent. I mean, if you're under that much criticism, you're bound to bite back. But look at the reason why you're under criticism. You're making the same mistakes over and over again. You are the living definitions of insanity, doing something over and over again and expecting a different result, and the same result keeps coming back to bite you every time. A lot of us had said that maybe you need to switch to sporting pitches. That doesn't look like it's going to be happening. So let's wait and see how things go. But what are your thoughts on Kotak's comments? Let us know that in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon. Follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X and Facebook. And stay tuned for more such videos from the world of sport.